Okay, I'm live, just waiting for people to show up because nobody's here yet. Oh, okay. Is anybody here? It showed me that somebody was here, and then it's showing me that nobody is here. So if you're here, speak up because I think you're not here. And I'm just talking to myself at this point. And that's okay. Ugh. Hi, Abby Jean. It was showing me that somebody was here, and then it was showing me nobody was here, and it's still showing me that nobody is here. Oh, now it's showing me that somebody is here. For all I know, everybody's here. I'm addressing the nation, if not the world. I just got here, says Abby Jean. Well, I think it's just you and me at this point. I know my lipstick's off. There we go. Aina's dealing with some weather where she is, like heavy thunderstorms and a tornado watch. So I think she was hoping to join us, but she's got a lot going on, so that might not be possible. Mm-hmm. As you can see, I'm coming to you from beautiful downtown my bed. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, we have had thunderstorms this morning, says Abby Jean. I think they're still dealing with it where Aina is, but I don't know. Hopefully, she'll be able to join us at some point. As you can tell, this is just going to be like relaxed, bordering on comatose today because I am tired after all the thing doing I've been doing lately. So, just lounging around in bed. I did get dressed. I did put on my eyebrows and my lipstick and my tiara. I've also been dealing with some dizziness today, which is no fun. So I am forcing myself to take it easy. How are you doing? Abby Jean says, "Oh no, glad you're resting up. Hope you feel better." I actually feel fine until I jump up and try to do something, and then I just feel a little dizzy. But I don't know. Ah, Nicole, hey. Hello. Lunch prep took longer than expected. Ooh, what's for lunch? We had lasagna. We got it. My mom got it at Lino's a few days ago. Lino's is this like Italian deli and small grocery store near where we live. And then Saturday night, I think she got that stuff Thursday or Friday. And then Saturday night, they had a fire. And so they're going to be closed indefinitely while they clean it all up and stuff. So we were like, well, this is the last Lino's lasagna we're going to have for a while, so we better enjoy it. Abby Jean says, I am a little tired as well, but all right. I'm currently preparing a cilantro lime marinade that I got from Megan for salads tonight. Nice. I am good, I mean. And then that was Abby Jean. And then she adds, oh my goodness, a fire. Hey, Nicole, says Abby Jean. Yeah, it was a fire. It happened after close of business, but there is a house attached to Lino's. But I don't know if anybody's living there, if they just use it for storage or what. But nobody was hurt. So at least there's that. But, they're going to have to repair, and they don't know how long it's going to take because it's only been a couple of days, and they have to get estimates and insurance involved and so on. And I imagine they're going to have to just like get rid of their entire inventory. Good, says Abby Jean. Yes. Cans of beans can be replaced. People cannot. Nicole says, ropa vieja in the slow cooker and zuppa toscana and homemade Olive Garden salad for lunch. Wow. I hope you made lots so that you can just like whip it out whenever you need to over the next couple of days. Anyway, so we had our lasagna and a garden salad, and we had cold pizza for breakfast because we had pizza for lunch yesterday. And yeah, so I'm just tired and relaxing. I did a bunch of stuff on Monday and Tuesday. I wasn't going to do anything on Tuesday, and then I ended up doing stuff. On Monday, we have a sunroom, and it's kind of a three-season room, except that it's really swampy in the summer. It's too cold in the winter, it's too swampy in the summer, but it's very nice in fall and spring. And we actually do, it's very well insulated at least, and we actually we have central heating and air in the house, but in the sunroom, it's on a separate thing. We have a baseboard heater, all electric, and a window air conditioner. But that kind of stuff really draws a lot of power. So we just like basically turn it on one day out of the year. Each element we turn on one day out of the year just to make sure it's still working and doesn't need any repairs or anything. But we don't run them all the time because, like I said, that's just such a time that is an energy suck. So anyway, so it's getting on toward the time of year when we can eat out there. And there's a bunch of stuff that piled up over the winter months because it's kind of a catch-all area. And so I had to get rid of some stuff. So Monday I took a bunch of stuff to the dump and to Goodwill. And some of it was kind of heavy, so that was a bit of exercise. And Monday I also got gas and groceries. And then I wasn't going to do anything at all on Tuesday, but my mother was working on a project that was better off without my input. So I just left the house so that she could get into her flow and get that done. And so I went out and I went to a couple of libraries. I picked up some books they weren't like library sales. They just have like a couple of shelves where they sell books all year round. I picked up a couple. That's going to be my mini haul. And I went to Marshall's and got a bunch of loungewear, which I'm not wearing at the moment. You will notice that this loungewear is one you've seen frequently, as recently as Monday. It's more, the stuff I got yesterday was more springtime stuff. And I did something else. Oh, I went to the post office. So yesterday, and then I came home and took care of the trash and the recycling. And then there was some more stuff in the sunroom that I needed to deal with. And some of that was a little on the heavy side. So now all that needs to be done is dusting and vacuuming, and it will be ready for us to dine. Now, Nicole made some comment here. She says, "Hi, Abby Jean. I need to know the name of the mafia romance author who ruined you. LOL. I need to try that series." Was that when we were talking about Joanna Shoup and her mafia pseudonym, which I always forget, Mila Finelli or Mira Finelli or something like that? Is that who we were talking about on Monday? I don't remember. Maybe this was a totally different conversation that I was not privy to. And Nicole says, I am in a professional top. I am in a professional top for teaching this morning and pajama pants bottoms. LOL. I'm ready for cozies and books the rest of the day. Yeah, that's pretty much where my head is at. Abby Jean says, yes, Mila Finella. The series is The Kings of Italy. Nicole says, oh, I think that is it. Yeah, I want to get in on that action too. I just want to get in on Joanna Shoup in general. I do have books by her, but I haven't read them yet. So does anybody want to do some 10 minutes of yuck before I get into my mini haul and stuff? And book mail, another little purple package from Nicole. It arrived here as near as I can tell safely. It's very well packaged, just like the other ones. So yay, says Nicole. Nicole says, I had no idea she's also Shoup. That is going to be fabulous. And Abby Jean says, sorry, Finelli. Proceed with caution. It might be too steamy for you, IDK. Nicole says, yay! I don't know. Nicole is like, she and I read Choosing Theo together, and we both liked it so much that we moved on to Freeing Luca. And that is some alien stuff. Pretty spicy. Hi, Paige. Paige just came in and said, hi, everyone. Hi, Paige. explaining why I'm lounging around today. It has to do with having done a bunch of stuff yesterday when I wasn't planning to. It's supposed to be a day of rest, but I just got some momentum going, so I just rolled with it. And now I'm tired and kind of getting a little dizzy when I stand up too quickly. So I'm tethered to my bed just to make sure I don't like fall over, or if I do fall over, I have a soft landing and it's not very far. Okay, and Nicole says steam doesn't bother me, and then she has a little smiley emoji. And Abby Jean says it's steamier than choosing Theo. And everybody is greeting Paige. Nicole says, hey, hey. And Abby Jean says, oh, great, to Nicole's saying thing about not minding steam. Enjoy. Hey, Paige, says Abby Jean. Paige says, hey, Nicole and Abby Jean. This is like that various scenes from, like, I think there was this in Spies Like Us and also in Stargate, where that was military ranks. Major, general, captain, captain, general, major, 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 and so on. This is Abby Jean, Nicole, Paige, Sock. And Paige says, just rest and relax, Sock. I like those days. And Abby's like, yep. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I actually, the thumbnail for this that I put up of the bed all looking inviting and turned down and with bears, I actually took that picture like 2 months ago. I was going to use it for a midweek motivation on February 5th, and then I ended up getting a second wind. But today, I think I want to just chill out in my bed of luxury. The queen size bed I don't have to share with anyone. And I don't have the stuffed animals with me right now because I washed my hair and it's still kind of damp. But when I got settled in, it was kind of wet. And they don't like to be in the big bed with wet hair because it will give them like little water stains. And, you know, that's not cute. They don't like that look. So, shall we do 10 minutes of yuck? I am not going to be vigorously cleaning the bathroom or anything else, but I am going to be putting things on Goodreads. I think later I'm just going to read. Abby Jean says, yes, let's sprint. Okay, so we're going to do 10 minutes of yuck, and it is 2:12. So we're going to go to 2:23 Eastern, 23 past the hour, because by the time I get everything set up, a minute will have passed. Let's get some stuff done. I am not putting on the radio today, but if anybody wants me to put the link so that they can, I'll go ahead and put the link to the radio station I usually put on. Maybe I will listen to it. Let's see. At least for now. I don't really like to listen to music while I read because it's just too distracting. But since I'm going to be doing data entry, oh, Stormy is on the road. She says, out running errands, but wanted to pop in. Thanks for popping in. And we're going to go for a while. I'm luxuriating in bed, and we're going to go for a while. So we might still be at it by the time you're done with your errands. But thank you for checking in. Appreciate it. And it's nice to say hi to a friend. Okay, so there's the radio station. And yeah, we're going to be going until 23 past the hour. Until 23 minutes past the hour. Okay, you guys, see you in 10 minutes. Okay, we're back. Okay. Oh, Runaway Duke by Ellie Sinclair is free today on Kindle, says Nicole. Abby Jean thanks her, and I thank her. So, what was it called again? It's for fans of Beauty and the Beast, and it's doing great on Goodreads. Okay, I know Nicole loves her Beauty and the Beast, and I am not opposed. Her Runaway Duke. And does somebody have something on Tea and Biscuits or Wake Up to Romance for sales and deals or freebies or whatever the tab for that is? Because that might be a thing to do. Okay, let's see. Kindle Unlimited or buy it for $0.00. Cool. Okay, done. Thanks, Sock Marionette. Thank you, Nicole. Okay, so I just did put some of the books I talked about on Monday. I put on Goodreads. These two books that I just did, Broken Dawn and Awake in the Darkness by Diane Duvall, are like books 8 and 10 in a series or something like that. I actually requested the first book from my library, and it is in transit. So I should get it before too long. In fact, Saturday is my birthday's 100 and the light's a little weird because my laptop is eclipsing my light source a little bit. So that's why I'm a floating head. Anyway, on Saturday, my library is having their 149th birthday, and there will be cakes and free bestsellers, and it'll be cool. And I might even be able to pick up some books. I picked up a bunch of books that I had holds on yesterday. So, and like I said, I got some books from the sale shelves at the library. So that's my mini haul. And of course, mail. By the way, I'm drinking water to which I have added a peach iced tea flavor packet. Paige says, "Nice. Always love book mail." This is from Nicole. She sent me 2 packages. Abby Jean is drinking raspberry tea. Nice. Not the sweet kind, just like the kind that's not sweet. I'm doing great. Just great. Anyway, Nicole sent me 2 book mail. She sent them the same day, and for some reason, one of them got held up in Philadelphia and the other one got here Monday. So I got this one yesterday. But I haven't opened it yet because I could tell from the outside that it's in good shape. And so I let Nicole know, and I told her I was going to open it during the live stream. Hot, unsweetened. Yeah. So, yeah, if Nicole is here, because I don't want to open this if she's not. I mean, I think she's here. I just don't know if she's in a position to be paying attention. That is the question. Ah, she's gave me a little smiley emoticon. Okay, are we ready for this cute little purple package? I already took the tape off, but I haven't unsealed it because Nicole believes in packaging. Open it, says Abby Jean. I thought I could do this without scissors. If I have to get up and get scissors, my afternoon is shot. You're wobbling around a lot. I'm wobbling around a lot to you guys because I have the laptop that I'm using. I'm using the webcam on my laptop, and it's on one of those trays with legs on it that you put in your bed for breakfast in bed. But the bed is kind of bouncy, you know. Okay. Heavy Jean says, Nicole, I wish every book came so well packaged. No kidding. Okay, are we ready? Eloisa James. Kiss me, Annabelle. Oh, It has a lovely cowboy themed bookmark. Beautiful. And there's a card. Which seems to be stuck. Okay. The card got stuck in. Should I open the card or letter? Or should I do that a little more privately? She even put my real name on it. Yes, my real name is Emily. It's not a big secret. I just am Sock. Nothing private in it except for my real name. It is a letter. Thank you. That is a lovely, lovely letter. And that is some beautiful stationery. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you. And heartfelt thanks indeed. So, yeah, so this is Kiss Me, Annabelle. The rules of marriage, according to Miss Annabelle Essex. A husband must be rich, make that very rich. She's had enough of leaky roofs and thread-worn clothing. English, London is the center of the civilized world, and Annabelle has a passion for silk and hot water. Amiable, good looking would be nice, but not necessary. Same for intelligent. Isn't she lucky? She's found just the man, and her chosen spouse is nothing like the impoverished Scottish Earl of Ardmore, who has nothing but his gorgeous eyes, his brain, and his kisses to recommend him. So, what cruel twist of fate put her in a carriage on her way to Scotland with just that impoverished earl and all the world thinking they're man and wife, sleeping in the same bed? Not to mention the game of words started by the earl, in which the prize is a kiss and the forfeit. Well, they are almost married after all. So, is that like Wordle or Words with Friends? Copyright 2005. And I think those Wordle and Words with Friends came along later. Anyway, so this is 383 pages long. Ah, it's gorgeous. It does not have a step back. However, you do get a little bit of a clinch in the inset on the spine. So thank you very much for your kind words and for the books and the bookmarks. I am excited. Let me know when we should start reading them. Let's see. So, that's just so lovely. Oh, so pretty, says Paige. It is. It is. Thank you so much. I really, really, really brightens my week. And I do have the mini haul from yesterday if anybody wants to see that, or do we want to save that for after we do another sprint? I can tell you what I'll be, well, once I finish cataloging the books, because I haven't actually cataloged on Goodreads. I haven't cataloged the books that I talked about on Monday, so I'm still working on that. But I will be reading, and I have two books going, one of which I can reach easily, the other one not so much. I am reading 9 Rules to Break When Romancing a Rake. I got this at the Cheshire Public Library, which is in Cheshire, Connecticut. And it is a step back. And what I like about this is a very well loved book. This has been read many, many times. And let me see, what year did this come out? 2010. And it's been read many times. So, of course, the library reinforced it from the outside. That step back, says ABG. I know. They reinforced it from the outside, but they also. Oh, wait. Oh, I missed a couple of things. Oh, so pretty. Nicole says, oh, I think Big B said it was so good. That or the sequel, not sure. Abby Jean says, yay, I need to reread that. Y'all know that was my first historical. That's Step Back. Oh, wow, Abby Jean. Very cool, says Nicole. And Nicole says, does everyone remember their first historical romance? Just curious. I think mine was Purity's Passion by Jeanette Seymour. Or maybe Larissa. Let's see. Larissa by Natasha. There's a huh. I actually have Purity's Passion, which I haven't read since I was like in junior high. Oh, Tiger's Woman might have been by Celeste de Blasey. That's Blasis. That's the one I talked about. That's one of my recommendations. And I reread it recently, and I read that one every several years. Purity's Passion, I have a copy, but I haven't reread it yet. And Larissa, I don't know. Those all came out in the early 80s or late 70s. Paige says, I have not read that one yet. Love the Step Back. Actually, I think if you count Green Darkness as an historical romance, I read that very early on. And Catherine, also by Anya Seton, that was more historical fiction than historical romance. So, yeah, these are all older books because I think I first started reading historical romance when I was like 12, and that would have been in like 1982, or actually 1983, because my birthday's late in the year. And now, anyway, Nicole says, mine was All About Passion by Stephanie Lawrence, The Tree. I have a copy of that, but I haven't read it yet. And Paige says, mine was In Bed with a Highlander by Maya Banks. Nice. Anyway, what I was saying about Cheshire's copy of 9 Rules to Break When Romancing a Rake is that it is, they've reinforced it from the outside, but they also had to reinforce it to keep the step back in place. So it's like if you deride the tape that's holding it in place, keep in mind, without that tape, there would be no step back. But I like the way it's also, the library didn't do this on a purpose, I'm sure, but it's also functioning as a little bit of censorship. So we can probably imagine that what's happening behind the tape is much more scandalous than it probably is. Although it's plenty scandalous as it is. Anyway, I'm about a quarter of the way through and I'm enjoying it very much. The other book that I am currently reading is Deep End by Ali Hazelwood, which is her newest, I think. And that is a buddy read with Aina. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, bunch, bumpity bumpity. And Abby Jean says, nice ladies. We are very nice ladies indeed. Abby Jean says, I haven't read Stephanie Lawrence, but I have read Never Seduce a Scot by Maya Banks. I have Stephanie Lawrence, I have a lot of her because when I started going to library book sales in earnest, they're just like everywhere. Stephanie Lawrence is everywhere. So yeah. So I have a lot of that. I mean, I have so many historicals that I haven't read yet. Like dozens and dozens and dozens. And Abby Jean says, I am currently reading, just started, The Mistress Experience by Scarlett Scott. I haven't read anything by her yet. And so anyway, that's what I'm reading. I think this is the first book by Sarah McLean that I've read. I own books by her that I just haven't gotten to. Like I said, I own way more historical romances. Of the historical romances I own, I probably only read like 5% or so, because I have a lot. So do we want to do another sprint, or are people super eager for the mini haul from yesterday's library sales? Well, They weren't big time sales, but I did find some stuff. Ah, Nicole says, I am starting Married by Morning by Lisa Kleypas today. I've become a big fan, so she is an author I auto annotate. Well, you sent me the Lisa Kleypas book, and it's somewhere over here, but I can't remember what it was. But I think you said you hadn't read it yet, so that could be a buddy read. And I don't know about the Eloise James book. That could be a buddy read. Plus, we still have whatever comes after Freeing Luca that we can buddy read. And I'm waiting on Sword Heart for a buddy read. And I think toward the end of the month, I'm doing a buddy read with one of the Kristens, not Kristen Lee, Kristen B. And B, we're reading Double Pucked. But that's not till the end of the month. Abby Jean says, I need to read more Sarah McLean. I really enjoyed her Love by Numbers and Hell's Bells series. I have Bare Knuckle Bastards is the one I have, I think. Most of those books, if not all. Paige says, I'm reading Married by Morning too. Just started her last night. Nice. It was funny because when I was watching B's April TBR video, she's like, I've got Double Pucked. It's a hockey romance, and a lot of people were interested in this, so I'm doing this as a buddy read. And I was sitting there thinking, oh, who'd she sucker into that? And then she goes, Sock and Kristen. And I'm like, oh, I'm the sucker. No, because I had totally forgotten that I was going to buddy read that with her. But it's cool. It's not going to be till the end of the month, so I'm fine. I'm fine. It's cool. And I think I already discussed this with Abby Jean, my epic fail at the library. I went to 2 libraries yesterday, and I had an epic fail because I've been trying to read down my library inventory right now, and I checked out 14 books. However, 4 of them I had holds on. So, as Abby Jean rightfully pointed out, after she pointed out that I shouldn't go out unsupervised, and she pointed out that, yeah, if they're on my holds list, they don't count. And also, another 6 of them that I checked out were in preparation for Book Talk with Sock and Abby Jean, which is a week from next Monday. So, a week and a half off. And they're just some science fiction books that I aren't very long, and I want to get to them. In one case, I'm rereading, and in one case, I'm reading for the first time. So that I can talk about them. And I do need to pick up some more for that video of stuff I've read. So anyway, and Nicole says, I'm doing a massive unhaul project right now, going through everything that is not HR and reading the first 3 chapters to weed out what I am just not into anymore. Yes, I've just done this massive, like for the last year or so, I've just like acquired so many books. I am not quite ready to unhaul them yet, just doing my library unhauls. And Paige says, agreed, if it's on your hold list, they don't count. I know. I already, that's a commitment I'm honoring. In fact, it's a virtue that I'm honoring that commitment that I made to read that book when the library. Yes. Abby Jean says, wow, Nicole, that's a huge project, but worthwhile and fun. Yeah, have you, yeah, you should do a live stream. Anyway, I think everybody should do a live stream. Nicole says, it has been fun. I normally work through 2 books a day. So far, I'm about 50-50 keep and donate. Nice. Yeah. I kind of did that with my library books. I am going to return a library book unread because it's due fairly soon. And I do intend to read it, just not right now. I'm just not in the right mood for it because it was one of the 12 recommendations on Tea and Biscuits Discord. And it was one of Tara's recommendations. It was A Rogue of One's Own by Evie Dunsmore. And I am going to read it. I just decided I wasn't vibing with it. I mean, I've had it out for several weeks now and haven't gotten to it. Not because I don't want to read it, just don't want to read it right now. And Nicole is saying your books were double copies, Sock. Yeah, I thought that was the deal. They're in very excellent condition. Thank you. I'm hoping they are good. They weren't of the keep or donate bunch. Yeah, because you said it was your non-historical romances that you were working on, right? Anyway, if you haven't read them, like I said, let's set up a buddy read. And we also were probably going to move on from the next book in the series that includes freeing Luca, I'm guessing. I'm certainly up for that. So, do we want to do another sprint? It's like 1:45 already. So if we do another sprint, that can be until 3:15, and then we can do the mini haul and more chit chat. Does that sound good to folks? Yes, let's do. Oh, I thought she was saying yes to the sprint. She's like, let's do the next Alien book in May. All are welcome, of course. Okay, if you want to wait that long, I suppose I can. And yes to what is best for you. And Abby Jean says, I just read Saving Baracco in February and really liked it. You guys will enjoy it. Is that the third one? I don't know what's next right now. Hang on. Um, I don't know how to pronounce this. Clicanian? Maybe it's one of those that doesn't pronounce at all like it looks. Okay, yeah, that Saving Baracco is the next one. Yep, I think that is book 3. Yeah. Okay, well, let's do a half an hour sprint and then we'll do a mini haul and have some more chit chat. And Nicole says, I'm going back and annotating books 1 and 2 this month. Luke got me obsessed. Luke, gosh, let's do a sprint. Yes, that's the third one. If you keep going with the series, I will join you on book 4. I can't imagine not, because even if I don't, it's one of those series where even if I don't like an individual book within the series, that won't deter me from reading more because, Anyway, so okay, now we're gonna go until Nicole says, I'm so in, and yes, join us. Join us. Join us. Okay. Stop doing that now. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go until 17 minutes past the hour. Okay, there's the radio station. Sprinting until 17 minutes past the hour. Okay, see you in a half an hour. Okay, that's the end of the first 30-minute sprint. And how's everybody doing? We got up to shenanigans in the comments. Nicole was asking me if we wanted to buddy read the first book. This is sequel to Much Ado About You. Much Ado About You. And since I can pick that up at the library when I go for the birthday party on Saturday, and also I wanted some validation that if I'm picking up a book for a buddy read, it doesn't count as being a real library checkout. Nicole says, loving my book so far. Is this one of the ones you're testing? I think I'm all caught up with Goodreads and the books I bought the other day and the ones I bought yesterday. So we have a mini haul if people want the mini haul. Yes, mini haul, says Abby Jean. Jostled my tiara. Nicole says, nope, married by morning for the Clay Pass readathon. Oh, gotcha. Not sure what B is calling it. I don't know. Okay, so I picked up a couple of books that I've already read and I wanted my own copies, and a couple of books. Now, as you may recall, that I haven't read yet, as you may recall, I posted a video, was it last Sunday or the Sunday before? I think it was the Sunday before last. It was my inaugural dive in or drop out video. And I was looking at several, I think it was ended up being 6 series by Christine Feehan. And there's one series that I didn't do, which was like a leopard shifter series, and I wasn't sure that I was into that, so I decided I would give that a pass for now. However, I found out that there's another series. Well, so far there are 2 books, and it is I picked up this book thinking it was a standalone, but it's actually a sequel. Well, it's part of a series. Now, Christine Feehan has said that you don't actually need to read every single book in every single series, that there are overlapping characters, but you could just go ahead and read them and you'll be fine. She says like maybe 10 to 20% of the book involves characters that were in another book. Anyway, so this one is called Red on the River. And it's some kind of psychic gambling thing. And takes place in Nevada. So that's something I can read. And so far, there are only 2 books in this series. And I think one was published in 2021 and this one was 2022. So I'm not sure if this is something she's planning to continue or if she's just concentrating on her other stuff. So I have that. And it is has a nice glossary of terms for climbing, as in rock climbing, and for poker, because that's her game. 430 pages. And the other one I haven't read is called A Ladder to the Sky by John Boyne. And this is the summary. Maurice Swift is handsome, charming, and hungry for fame. The one thing he's missing is talent, but a would-be writer can find or steal stories from anywhere. Roving from the Amalfi Coast to Manhattan and London, he preys on the talented and vulnerable in a cold-blooded climb to the top. But the higher he climbs, the farther he has to fall. In this comparison, National Public Radio comped it with The Talented Mr. Ripley. Yeah, and Boston Globe also compared it to Patricia Highsmith. And so, yeah. And this is 2018, and it is 362 pages long. So those are the 2 I haven't read. And then the 2 I read, but I kind of wanted my own copy. There was a third one. I saw it, and it was a really pristine hardback copy of a book that I read a few years ago when it first came out, and I really liked it. That was a book called Kishat by Salman Rushdie. And I really liked that book, and I decided not to pick up a copy of it, but maybe I'll see if it's still there when I go to the birthday party on Saturday, because that is the library where I saw it. Kishat was really good. It made me want to read more Salman Rushdie, but I haven't read more Salman Rushdie, but I want to because it was so good. Okay, now this book was self-published by a local historian, but it is fiction. It's called By Children's Children by Diana Ross McCain. And in the next town over, Middlefield, which is where I went to the library sale, last Saturday, there's a place called Lyman Orchards, which you may have heard me mention here, there, and around, or on Discord or whatever. Lyman Orchards is a pick your own fruit, not just apples. It started as apples, but it's pick your own fruit orchard, and they also have a couple of golf courses, and they have a nice little market where they sell various artisanal cheeses and things like that from around the state and really from around New England and upstate New York. And they have their own baked goods, which are very good, and using their own produce, and it's good. The thing is the Lyman family has had that farm since the 18th century, since prior to the American Revolution. And this book is a fictionalization of various generations of the Lyman family. It's based on real people and what they really did. But I think Diana Ross McCain wanted to write this as a novel because then she could like give them dialogue and things like that, and kind of speculate about their what they were thinking. And it's really good. It's very long. It's like over 600 pages long. And my mom and I both read it a few years ago. They had an open house at Lyman Orchards for the old house, which has been there for 150 years, 200 years. And they periodically have an open house. And we went and we actually read library copy of this book before we went. It went so fast. And it's also on Kindle Unlimited. But anyway, it's several generations of this family and their apple farm and how they lived and the things that they did in the context of this broader history of Connecticut, New England, and the nation that would become the United States. Anyway, I just wanted to have my own copy. And then I bought this at the Wethersfield Library when I was there. And then when I went to Middletown Library, they also had it on the sale shelf, the same price. And then the last book, and this is one I've read, it's a Book of the Month edition. I don't have many Book of the Month editions because I've never belonged, but it's Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. This is my favorite book by him. And I just really like it. It takes place in it's a thriller that takes place in an apartment building. It's very much like the Dakota on Central Park. And it's like this mismatch. The protagonist, she thinks she's in one of those glamorous novels like Judith Krantz, and she's actually in Rosemary's Baby. I really liked it. I've already read it twice, which is unusual for me. I don't usually revisit thrillers, but I've read it twice, and I was like, you know what? I wouldn't mind having my own copy of it, and there was a copy there for not very much money, so I grabbed it. So that is my mini haul from yesterday. Mm. Cool, says Abby Jean. I am going to have to do something about keeping track of my buddy reads because I've been just keeping track of it in my head, but I think I need to do something a little more concrete. One of the things I've been thinking about doing just in general, and also maybe doing vlogs for the channel about it, for the YouTube channel about it, was maybe, I think I mentioned this before, is talking about doing TBRs where other people assign my books to me. And I just kind of also want to experiment with the idea of a TBR because I'm very much a mood reader. So I just want to see, maybe spend, I don't know if I'll do it for April or May or start at mid-April or something, and just see explore different ways that I could have a TBR that I generate myself or that other people help me generate. Maybe I'll try to do like an entire month where I have a set TBR and see how long that lasts, because I don't think it would last very long, but who knows? Maybe it'll be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Paige says, fun haul. I haven't read that Riley Sager one, but I've read others from that author. Yeah, this is my favorite by him, actually. What I like about Riley Sager is that you're never really sure if you're going to just get like a straight thriller or if there's going to be a paranormal aspect to it. And so you're never quite sure which way it's going to go. And I like that um, that sort of that level of suspense in the text. Okay, Nicole says, I made the mistake of browsing Book Outlet for fun and bought a bunch of historical romances. Good deals, however. Abby Jean says, for this month, I made a TBR in an Excel spreadsheet. Ooh, that's extra. First column is schedule or deadline. Second column is title. Third column is who, what it is for. So much for mood reading. I'm not complaining, she says. That's not me interpolating. Nicole says, something you are really good at is TBR prompts. I think you shared those in the Tea and Biscuits channel, right? Who, me? I don't do I don't do the prompts for myself though. I did those for my mom. Yeah, it was the ones I did for my mom, and my sister helped me out with that, and so did my sister-in-law. Yeah, some of the ones I put in my mom's jar were from YouTube. Some of them I made up. Some of them my sister made up. My sister-in-law contributed a couple. I did them all. I color coded them, so when she pulls one out of her jar, if it's red, I got it from YouTube. If it's blue, it was from me, and if it's dark green, it was from my sister and her partner. Yeah. Nicole says, yep, she was talking about me. Yeah, but I don't have one for myself. Because I don't know if I like to get them from other YouTubers. I did try to do it sometimes, a couple of times, a couple of years ago. I was getting them from other YouTubers because I feel like when I do them myself, I'm like subconsciously biasing toward what I really want to read anyway. And part of what I like about it is that kind of unexpected surprise aspect to it. Yeah. Abby Jean says, I love that. Does your mom do those prompts? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We did that for her birthday before last. So that would have been in October of 2023. And she still has a lot of them. And she actually is, when she fulfills a prompt, she puts it on, she has a stack of them paper clipped together. So yeah, she's been doing them. And a couple of them I do help because like one of them was read a book and eat a food that is mentioned in that book. So I've been like volunteering to run around to bakeries or international food stores or whatever it is that, you know, that we want to get or take out or whatever it is that is discussed in a book that she wants to read. A couple of different prompts that are similar to that. Paige says, I'm horrible at sticking to a TBR. I'll do buddy reads and the rest for book club. I'll do buddy reads and the reads for book club, but then everything else goes out the window and I mood read. Abby Jean says, for my TBR, I put actual titles and one for each of my Goodreads tags, like choose one from this tag. Nicole says, I had my students give me a prompt once. Oh boy, I was tasked with reading a book with a chicken. But you could read, somebody I was watching somebody's video last night, and they were talking about, it was a Baba Yaga retelling, and it was the one about the Baba Yaga who has the house that's on chicken legs. That's kind of about a chicken. It's a house chicken hybrid. The Baba Yaga thing about the house with the chicken legs is like, that's a long-standing part of Russian folklore. There's a movie about it that was done on Mystery Science Theater 3000 because it was goofy as heck. It was beautifully shot, though. Gorgeous film. Abby Jean says, those kinds of extra reading prompts are fun. Nicole says, it ended up being a great book, though. I read The House with Chicken, like, oh, there you go. Loved it. Yep, that was the one, Sock. Oh, how funny. Yeah, I didn't realize that. I wasn't even looking at the comments. I think the book that Was it that? I don't know. I don't know if it was the House with Chicken Legs or another one that was based on that aspect of the Baba Yaga story. But yeah, yeah. I wasn't even looking at the comments while I was talking, and yep, that was it. So, another thing I'm thinking of doing is getting my doing like a my mom picks my TBR or my sister picks my TBR, and Abby Jean says, "Paige, that's good enough." Ha ha ha. I have started a no commitment TBR list to not overload it too much. I get into trouble trying to use up my hoopla borrows. Yeah, I was thinking of doing TBRs that are based on the books I already own, and that's the thing is that that keeps getting delayed because I go to the library and pick up a truckload of books. Although actually, the book talk with Sock, the segments that are about getting into a new genre, those end up being TBRs because I need to reread stuff or read stuff, and so I can talk about it with some degree of confidence. Mhm. So, like I just said, I checked out 6 books, one of which has 3 novels in the same volume. It's an omnibus uh, for the upcoming book talk with Sock and Abby Jean on science fiction. So, mhm. So yeah, I'm taking a little downtime on pre-recorded content, like I was talking about on Monday. I've decided that I'll definitely try to upload every Sunday, and then Thursday will kind of be if I have something that's relatively easy to do, like a library book on haul or something like that, or a TBR. I might do like for one Thursday, I'll do a TBR video, and then for the following Thursday, do a follow up, something like that. But I am not going to be posting tomorrow. I still need to take some time to think about what I'm doing. And I do have 2 longer videos in progress. One is a vlog, and one is I'm organizing I think I mentioned this on Monday that I'm organizing this corner of the downstairs front room that I have. And I want to, I just need to, I've done most of the video stuff. I just need to actually do the organization part, but I've already described what I'm doing and the logic behind it. So that is just, I don't want to try to do that, to do the physical organizing today, because again, I'm dizzy and I don't want to fall over and stuff. And Abby Jean says, yeah, that's no good. Oh, because Paige said, thanks, Abby Jean. I tried to stick to my full TBR ones and it put me into a major book slump. So I definitely need to have room to let myself mood read. And Abby Jean said, yeah, that's no good. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to maybe experiment with different ways of reading and uh, just to see what that's like. Just, I feel like I just need to kind of take a step back from content creation or do the kind of content creation that um like do some tags or something like that where I just talk about reading in general and not about specific books, because I want to find that balance between the enjoyment I derive from creating stuff for Instagram and YouTube and the enjoyment I derive from just reading without feeling like it has to be placed into some sort of meaningful context on social media. Abby Jean says, with mood reading, I often end up starting like 5 books at once. I actually, for the most part, when I mood read, I'm a sequential mood reader because I'll read a book and I'll be interested and want to finish it all the way to the end before I start another one. So I'm not, my moods are not quite so changeable that I feel like I want to start another book while I'm still reading another. I mean, right now I'm reading 2 books, but that's, has to do with, again, with some of it's social media. Like I want to read this book because I try to read a step back a week so that I can post on Step Back Saturday, because I don't like to post about books I haven't actually read. And then the other book that I've got in progress is a buddy read. So And Nicole says, I started making chapter goals for myself, and that has helped me stay engaged while not getting burned out. Nice. Abby Jean helped me figure that tactic out. And Abby Jean has a little party face. Yay, I helped! I helped! The other thing that's kind of fallen by the wayside because I've been doing content creation, and again, I enjoy doing content creation. I enjoy stuff, although sometimes I don't want to be on camera. And I was very excited because yesterday I actually filmed some extensive clips. And after several days of just not wanting to be on camera, that was nice to get out of that kind of slump. But I enjoy editing. I know a lot of people don't, but I do. I find it relaxing. And but one thing that's kind of fallen by the wayside is that I haven't been watching as many movies and television shows. Abby Jean says, Sock, I was going to chat with you about your content slump earlier, but wasn't sure if you wanted that. LOL. Sure. I mean, it's not exactly a content slump because I have a lot of ideas. It's just I've been kind of tired and I've been doing other things like getting the sunroom cleaned up and that kind of stuff and it's just general spring cleaning. So I have a lot of ideas. It's just not wanting to be on camera, basically. So, I mean, it's that kind of slump. It's not a no ideas slump. It's just do I have to be on camera? I don't feel like being on camera. And also, I want to have more personality. I think I was talking about that on Monday as well. And Paige says, that's a good tactic, Nicole. Nice, Abby Jean. Yeah, chapter goals. Yeah. I know there's sometimes when I feel like when I want to read a step back, it's like, I'm like, oh, not another Regency. So I wanted to read this one because so many people have said it's so good. And so far, I really am enjoying it. But sometimes it's like once I start reading them, I enjoy them. It's just getting over that inertia and starting the book, or in the case of filming, getting over that inertia and starting to film. That can be a little tricky to negotiate. So, shall we do another sprint? It's almost 20 minutes to the hour. So, shall we do another sprint 10 minutes after the hour? Sure, says Nicole. Yeah, let's do that. Let's sprint, says Abby Jean. I'm going to, yeah, I will. I'm going to put in the radio, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be listening to it because if I'm reading, like I said, I can't really listen to the radio while I read because that'll be distracting. See, I just got distracted thinking about it. Okay, so we're going to sprint. Oh, actually, it's 3:39. So we're going to sprint to 3:40. Okay, so sprinting until 10 past the hour. And we're back. And Ana is feeling up to joining us. Hooray! And Nicole wants to know if these are seashells on my mug. No, they're not. They're a Mexican pastry called conchas that are meant to look like seashells, but they're conchas, Conchas. And they're just like a nice yeasted, light, fluffy, sweet bun. And we used to get them when I lived in Santa Barbara, which is where I was born, before we went overseas. We used to get them from Lupis La Perla Bakery on it wasn't on Milpas, but it was near Milpas. It's not there anymore because that was like over 50, well, just about 50 years ago. And we used to go there after church and get them. And I remember we'd get them on Sundays, and we get conchas in this cookie called Tres Marias, which had like a chocolate section and a strawberry section and a vanilla section. So the three Marys, so like Neapolitan. They were these large cookies that were kind of soft cookies. They were really good. Those were my favorites. And we used to go there after church. And I remember some Sundays we wouldn't go to church. And I remember one Sunday we were all lounging around, and I said, "Oh, are you going to go to the bakery?" I was like probably around 5 or so at the time. And my parents were like, "No, because we didn't go to church." So I spent a lot of my life thinking that we ate these delicious Mexican pastries as a reward for sitting through church. And then later my mom explained, well, we'd have to go down the hill to go to church and to the bakery, and we didn't see any point of going because we lived at the top of the hill. She said we didn't really see, if we weren't already going down for church, we weren't going to go down just to get pastries. And I just looked at her and I said, She says, yeah, I think now I would make a different decision. But anyway, that's what they are. They are pastries, conchas. I think there's a Mexican bakery, well, commercial bakery over in Meriden that makes them. And sometimes they have them at La Placita, which is a Mexican restaurant down the street from my house. The thing is that until recently, there haven't been a whole lot of Mexican immigrants to Connecticut or Mexican Americans in Connecticut because they just went other places. They go to Texas or California, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and up through the Midwest. So most of the Spanish speakers in this part of the world are from like the Caribbean or South America or south of Mexico, like Guatemala, El Salvador, and so on. So, but there are increasingly more Mexicans and Mexican Americans coming to live in Connecticut. So we can finally get some decent Mexican food around this joint. So anyway, Ana says, I had a lovely cream cheese cinnamon roll earlier. Nice. My favorite cake I've ever had was a tres leche. Nice. We went to there's an American / Asian fusion bakery that just opened up not too far from here. And we went there on Thursday or Friday, Chan's Bake Shop. And I think I posted some pictures on Instagram. And we got this cinnamon roll that was topped with fresh strawberries. Oh my gosh, it was so good. And they change their menu all the time because she's always trying new stuff. So, I mean, there's some things she always has, but she's always trying new stuff. And so, yeah, that was good stuff. And I am having cookies. I had 2 oatmeal cranberry from Aldi, and I'm having kitchen sink from Aldi. And I did break down and get some coffee. This is coffee with a little bit of syrup in it. It's s'mores flavored syrup and some milk. And because I don't mind being tired, and I don't mind napping or going to bed early, but I would like to kind of stay up at least until 8 o'clock tonight because I don't want to get up at like 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, and lies were told. I told you so many lies. Oh, the lies I told. Not purposefully, but I made a liar out of myself, let's say. But first, let me read what Nicole has to say. I'm a tiramisu fan. Is that considered cake? LOL. Well, I mean, it does have like that ladyfinger sponge base, and then you put more stuff on it. Mm-hmm. My mom got a tiramisu cake. It was shaped cake shape. She got it from Leno's the other day. Leno's, which is going to be closed for a while. Anna says, I'm sipping on some cherry blossom sparkling water. Coffee sounds yummy, but I can't have caffeine right now. She's a little sad face emoticon. Nicole says, I prefer pie personally. Any pie! Who was it who was saying that? Was that also... Oh, it was somebody in Wake Up to Romance was talking about how they don't actually like cake. It was Kristen Lee. I remember because she had a birthday recently and she said she doesn't actually really like cake that much, but she made sure that there was cake for her little brother because she's a good big sis. Very nice big sis. Any pie. I love pie too, but I like cake. Yep, we make buttermilk pie for my birthday. Nice. My preference, I like mincemeat pie, which of course these days it does not use mince. It doesn't use meat rather, but I do like mincemeat pie. And I do like fruit pies. Yeah, those are kind of my favorites. Rhubarb pie. Strawberry rhubarb pie is okay, but rhubarb pie, which is kind of hard to find unless you make it yourself, like I'm going to do that. Um, Rhubarb just is my favorite. I really like rhubarb a lot. Well, anyway, there is apple pie in my fridge, says Anna. Well, I hope you brought enough for everybody. And we're all going to show up at Anna's. Um, the lies. I lied. I didn't mean to lie, but I did. Oh, and a great trick. Use eggnog in your pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving. Chef's kiss. Nice. Oh, we had these lemon bars from the bake sale that were so good. This was from Middlefield library sale, bacon library sale. I think I showed you. I got like they came on a Corel plate with ivy border that's really pretty, and it's hanging out on my bookshelf with a bunch of candles and stuff on it. Anyway, those lemon bars were so good, but now what I want to do is to see if they're the kind of lemon bars that are made with lemon curd. I want to see if I can make some apricot curd and make apricot bars like that, because a lot of apricot bars you just use preserves, and that's good. But I want that kind of fluffy tartness that you get from a curd. So I might try that at some point. And oh, weather update from Ana. Yeah, I did mention Ana earlier. I did mention that you were experiencing some thunderstorms and tornado watch and stuff. And so I did mention that. So she's got an update for us. That storm system is leaving nasty nadir trails in Missouri at the moment. Luckily, I think that section is going to skip over my state. And Nicole says, stay safe, Ana. You know, I think Stormy lives in Missouri, but she lives in southwestern Missouri, so I don't know if that was in the path of this nastiness. Hopefully she's okay. Hopefully she's got lots of good DVDs. Stormy did check in earlier. She was on the road doing some errands, and she was talking about picking up some DVDs at the library. So hopefully she'll tell us what they were. She'll either come back here and tell us, or she'll put it in her daily reading blog, because she does our reading blog every single day, which is just amazing. And Nicole says, stay safe, Ana. And Paige says, yikes, I hope you are safe out there, Ana. And Ana says, I hope she's safe. I assume she means Stormy. Yeah, I don't know, because like I said, she's in kind of more southwestern, so I don't know if that's a part that's being affected. I know she was out running errands, and she didn't seem to have any issues at the time. Anywho, so the lies. Yes, I keep telling you I lied to you, and everybody's just like, yeah, sure, whatever. We don't care. We know you're a liar. No, I don't think you think that. No, I made a liar out of myself, because remember I said I wasn't going to do any more physical work because I didn't feel like it was necessarily the best decision I could make, considering that I've been kind of dizzy. I got up and I was feeling a little bit less dizzy. So all those books that I was hauling and cataloging and so on, I found places for them. And then I went downstairs to get the coffee and the cookies. And while I was doing that, I had already taken my stuff that I wanted to put on those shelves downstairs. I'd already taken it down. So I just went ahead and put it away on those shelves and tidied and organized it so that I could see if I had room for more books down there. And I do, which is awesome because I'm starting to run out of shelf space. Might have to buy another bookcase. I saw a really nice glass shelf where the shelves were kind of, I think they were hexagonal. Yeah, like a stop sign, 6 sides. And it was really cool. They weren't very big. They wouldn't be suitable for books, but they would be very suitable for tiaras. Very suitable indeed. I saw it when I was out yesterday. I might go back and get it. I think I saw it at Marshall's or at Home Goods. I can't remember which. I mean, it's the same store, but different locations. So I actually did. I keep jostling the computer. That's hope nobody's getting seasick. So anyway, I actually did do some stuff. So even when I'm being mellow and relaxed, I still get stuff done, I guess. I don't know. You might have, if you were watching during the sprint, I was bustling. I moved the computer because I was getting out of bed and I didn't want, that's not necessarily the most graceful of processes, and I didn't want to accidentally, uh, moon anybody or anything. So I moved the computer so I could get out of bed. And then I don't know if you saw, I just left it moved, and I was bustling back and forth with boxes and things, and those were those books. I still have some books that need to have a spot found, but at least they're not on my floor anymore. Or I was shoving them behind a chair so they'd be out of sight so that they wouldn't stress me out while I was trying to sleep, because again, I'm in my bedroom. And I do most of my live streams in my bedroom because of the proximity to the wireless router. Anyway, that was a whole discourse. I did not do any reading. I did the other things. So, one of these times, maybe the next sprint, I'll actually do some reading. If we're going to do another sprint. It's already almost 4:30. We've been at this for like 2.5 hours. It sure didn't feel that long. I feel like we've only been like going for an hour. Abby Jean says, I worked on finishing up If You Give a Single Dad a Nanny. Oh my goodness. What happens? A sexual harassment lawsuit? 30 more pages. Woohoo! So you probably want another sprint to get that done. While I was moving stuff around, I retrieved Deep End, which is my buddy read with Ana. Because it was it was over here on my nightstand, but not where I could reach it. So Deep End that I'm reading with Ana. Hang on a second. Candle pairings for Deep End, which is about somebody who is a diver and somebody who is a speed swimmer, swim racing in the water, swimming. Ana says, woo, I'm going to get some of that done while laying here, so long as my brain cooperates. Well, that's always the trick, getting the old noggin to do its thing. So anyway, so they're aquatic athletes, Division I NCAA. And so my candle for that is Poolside Dreams. Or excuse me, Poolside Dream. I keep thinking it's Dreams. It's not. It's just the one. It does not smell like chlorine. It mostly smells like raspberry. It's very fruity. It's kind of strong. And so that's my candle for Deep End. I like that it even has kind of like a similar color vibe. And for 9 rules to break when romancing a rake, I ended up picking Afternoon Tea. This is from the Page, which is another one of those Etsy chandlers that has, like, you can get a sample box and you can get a lot of little candles. It's very nice. It says Earl Grey tea and apple. It's got like a little cream undertone to it too. Excellent selection, says Ana. I like candles but haven't used them for years because of a fire incident. That'll put you off it. I stick to wax melts now. Well, those work too. Those are nice. The other thing is you can get these little things that look like a desk lamp, and they will heat a candle. Doesn't have to be wax melts. You could just use any candle with them, and you turn it on and you put the candle under it, and you don't have to set fire to the candle to enjoy it. So if you have a scent that you like that's only available from a candle, you can use that. You usually see them at Marshalls for like anywhere from 15 to 20 bucks if you feel like asking for it for a birthday or something like that. Anyway, so I have afternoon tea for 9 rules to break when romancing a rake, because I was like sometimes I have to read fairly far into a book to figure out what the candle should be. And I got to the point where Callie is having tea with Julia. And I was like, sure, afternoon tea. I took it downstairs to put it on the shelf downstairs, but I can bring it back upstairs again. Ana says, I'd want to get some of the scented tea light ones. I have the heat plate or the best plate to my wax melter. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, sometimes it's really obvious. Like I knew before I even checked out Deep End from the library that I had the perfect candle to go with it. Other times I do have to read into a book a fair amount to figure out what the candle should be. I will probably talk about this in a video. So consider it a sneak preview of a video that is still only in the very vague planning stages. And then, oh, I thought somebody else had left a comment, but they hadn't. Anyway, so that's what's going on. So it's 27 minutes past the hour. Do we want to go all the way to what would be 5 o'clock my time, and so on down the line for people in other time zones? Paige says, I wish I was reading during our sprints. I'm counting the hours until my workday is done. Is it wrong that I'm not in a work mood right now? Well, you can't always be in a work mood. And that's like, but because we all, not we all, but because a lot of places you have to be in the office or the factory or the diner or whatever at a specific time, there's inevitably times you got to fake it. Anyway, so I was thinking we could sprint until the top of the hour, so that would be like at this point about 32 minutes. Does that sound good to people? Again, I'm gonna. Last time I did listen to the radio a little bit, but now I'm not going to because I'm definitely going to try to at least get some reading done. There we go. Love it. And sprinting until Paige says she's good for another sprint. And Evie Jean says, no way, Paige, you should meet my husband. He is very done with work right now. But he's still plugging away. And his quote of the day, if at first you don't succeed, it's only attempted murder. Mm-hmm. Sprinting until the top of the hour. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, that's the end of the 30-minute sprint we just did. I don't know. I see we lost Abby Jean because she's going to go hang out with Kevin. I read about 40 pages of Deep End. And Nicole says, this new book is darker than I expected, but I'm intrigued. Duke with the Dragon Tattoo by Kerrigan Byrne. Yeah, so I read another 40 pages of Deep End. And yeah, it's probably time to conclude. I don't know about you guys, but I found this to be so much more relaxing. And I don't, I really like doing it this way. If I could just bring the in bed attitude to out of bed. Anyway, so I like this. And Paige says, I haven't read a Kerrigan Byrne, so let me know if you like it. I haven't even heard of Kerrigan Byrne. Anyway, I agree, says Nicole. I need a snack, and the Hubs is looking for attention. Yeah. Paige says, I know she definitely writes darker HR. I could probably go for that. Not going to lie about that. Anyway, so yeah, thank you for joining me this evening, this afternoon. Not evening yet. It's 5 o'clock here where I am. And I gotta say, I kind of liked the lounging in bed thing. It was like I can't seem to just have that same lounging in bed attitude when I'm not lounging in bed. It's like I need to be lounging in bed. Although this is more structured than I usually. I mean, usually when I'm lounging, I do not have a tray table and so on, and I'm not not necessarily wearing a tiara, or am I? Mhm. And Nicole says, "Your relaxing encouraged me to relax. It was fabulous." I don't know. Oh, and she says also, it's my first Kerrigan Byrne too. We'll update you all. Awesome. Looking forward to hearing what you have to say about that book, that author. I don't know that the relaxing was very helpful for Paige because she was already not feeling work, and I hope I didn't make her feel it any less, unless she wanted. I anyway. So yeah, I like the relaxation. I yeah, I was into it. It was much easier to set up, and yeah, I'll try that again next week or not. Depends on what I feel like doing. Because I mean, I can do a fair amount from bed. I mean, I practically wrote my entire master's thesis in bed, so I mean, I had to go out to do research, but the actual writing part of it. Okay, so yeah, thank you all for joining, and I look forward to seeing you around and about. Farewell, friends, says Nicole. Paige says, thanks for the sprint, Sock. I hope everyone has a relaxing evening. My work slump continues, but that was before the sprints. Yes, well. Anyway, so I will probably see some of you. I think I'm going to be at Wake Up to Romance on Friday. And then, of course, anything that I don't know if anything's happening between now and next Wednesday in terms of tea and biscuits or whatever. See you around and Discord direct message or Discord in general. And yeah, so I will be back next week for midweek motivation. And this is the off week for Book Talk with Sock. So no Book Talk with Sock on Monday. That'll be the following Monday when it's Book Talk with Sock and Abby Jean. So bye. Hope you all have amazing reading and comfy spots. Well, I think you know I do. Yeah, and I like I said, I read another 40 pages, so I'm just at the start of chapter 18. So that's where I am with that. And we can discuss this on Discord. Bye, everybody.